Welcome to Show Pop, the after show to your favorite show. I'm Dee. Today we're talking episode 1 of Family Empire Houston. Episode 1 introduces a powerful real estate empire built on legacy, but beneath the success are sibling fractures, marital tension, and generational power struggles. Let's break down the dynamics shaping episode 1. Grab a drink, a snack, a joint, or a gummy. Yes, Show Pop is 420 friendly. Get comfortable and let's get into it. Here we go. All right. What's up, everyone? So for today, I'm going to be watching, recapping, and commenting on the Family Empire Houston. And to the one voter who voted in my poll, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to vote. I'm a new channel, so it means a lot. And this is what you voted for, so I am giving it to you, baby. We are going to watch and review live the episode 1 of Family Empire Houston. Let's go. So this show is about a group of cousins that are so tight knit that they are sisters. They have a sister-like relationship, and they own one of the largest realty companies in Texas. So that's beautiful. There's quite a few women. I'm going through the intro now. There's quite a few women. I'm praying that I will be able to keep up with this amount of women because it's a lot. It's at least 6, I think. At least 5, I think. They named like 4 just now. So I was going to give you the names, but they're going so fast. I'm just going to have to try to keep up and do my best to keep up with all the women. So here we go. Can't wait to see what else this episode has to offer. All right, so what we're seeing with these women as I'm getting to know them and I'm moving through the episode is they come from legacy. So we are looking at a legacy here. The Braden family is well known because of these women's grandparents who were prestigious and well-known Black realtors. And it sounds like they started the business. If I heard them correct, it's the grandparents that started the business, and the family generations have continued to grow and continue the business. That's beautiful. This is the kind of stuff that I like to watch. This is the kind of real reality TV that I like to watch. So let's keep going, and let's see what else we can learn about the Braden family. Okay, so in this first scene, they are having a weekly meeting and they're going over their Q1 projections. And one thing that caught me here is that one of the sister cousins, I believe her name is Jaquita. She's actually a doctor. She's a doctor of pharmacy and was working as a pharmacist when they were cultivating this a business. And you know what? I'm still trying to figure out if it was the grandparents that started the business, or did these girls start the business and use the family name? I'm not sure. So I'm still trying to figure that out, because some things that were said in this scene makes me wonder. They make it sound as though, they just started this thing, or it was them that came up with it. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewind it. Help me out in the comments, okay? Let me know. Did they start the business? When you watched the episode, did the young women start the business, or was it already started by the grandparents? Okay. So, but what I wanted to take note of was Jaquita. She says she says that she was making more part-time as a realtor than what she was making as a doctor of pharmacy. And I was a pharmacy technician, okay? So I know what they can make. They make good money, really good money. That says a lot. So she decided to go into business for herself. So I just found that really interesting. I wanted to take note of that. It just goes to show, I don't know, that some industries are really, really, what's the word that I want to use? I guess, profitable. Some industries are really, there's real growth and potential to make a lot of money there as compared to others. I mean, I'm sure, at some point being a doctor, you're going to hit a level. There's going to be a ceiling as far as salary and things like that, right? Unless you get creative. So I don't know. I just found that really interesting. Okay. I don't want to stay too long on that. Let's keep going. Okay, it's good to take note that the husbands are in on this thing too. So several of their husbands also work for the company in different capacities, except for Nicole's husband, which, please forgive me, okay? I'm still learning the names, but the beautiful young woman with the gap, okay? She was saying, and I feel like it's good to take note of it here because she could have just been being funny and maybe it was nothing to it, or maybe there is something and we may notice it in future episodes or down the line in this episode. But she makes a comment about how the only husband that doesn't work at the company is Nicole's husband, who is always at work, she says, but she believes would enjoy being a house husband. She never says what he does. That could be because maybe Nicole doesn't want, that to be known. It's understandable. People are allowed to keep things to themselves and have privacy where they want it, even on reality TV. That being said, I thought it was funny that she brought that up. I really need to learn her name. So anyway, let's just take a mental note of that. But some of the husbands are involved in this business as well. So let's keep going and see what else we can get. Okay, so the beautiful young lady with the gap in her teeth, her name is Jermisha. Okay, so I just wanted to take note of that. We've moved on to the next scene, and it looks like they're having an old down home Sunday style cookathon, cook down, yeah, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it looks like all the families getting together to eat. Jermisha's mama is in the kitchen. She's throwing down. I saw mac and cheese. She has on her apron. I think she might have even had on the chef's hat. I gotta check that again. So it's serious. If you black, okay. And so that's where we're at now in this episode. Okay, this is a different scene. Let's see what they finna do. All right. Okay, so we are continuing through this scene. Everybody's showing up to the house. They have a huge family, and it is a beautiful family. And so the matriarch of the family, Miss Oscarine, Braden, honey, she pops up. And let's talk about Miss Oscarine, okay? Miss Oscarine looks good. Miss Oscarine is bad. Miss Oscarine has on her red lipsticks, honey. She had her hair laid, baby. She's moving good for her age, child. And I loved seeing Miss Oscarine. So Miss Oscarine is their grandma, okay? And they were talking about how she has suffered a stroke. My God, she looks good. She gets around good. She's not using a cane, a walker. She's not in a wheelchair. Strokes can really be serious. My medical professionals, if I have medical professionals who watch this channel, definitely leave a comment and talk about it, because some people leave strokes and they end up paralyzed, or they can't speak. Now it does appear that Miss Oscarine has I heard her speak. I understood what she said just fine, but according to Jamia, she said that after the stroke, maybe the speech was a little bit speaking is a little bit challenging, but her mind is still sharp. And you can definitely tell that Miss Oscarine is still there mentally. But I understood her just fine when she said, that she cooked. She said that she asked, Jamia asked her grandma, she said, "What you do?" And Miss Oscarine said, "I cooked." Just like a southern woman. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's see what else they gonna do at this family gathering. All right. So they're praying over the food and they're dedicating the desserts to the January birthdays and their pawpaw as well. Now, pawpaw is the matriarch of the family. He's also was Miss Oscarine's husband. Okay. That's how the line of the family tree starts for this show. They lost him. I didn't catch his legal name, his actual name, but they call him Pawpaw. You know how it is. They lost him at this point. I think this is a newer show. I think this is a 2025 show. So when this was filmed, just over a year since they lost their Pawpaw. So you can see that I'm assuming, I'm going to assume, but maybe not, that must be maybe his daughter that was getting really emotional with the chef's hat and the lighter brown hair. If I can insert an image here, I will, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't have the patience to go through the show and capture all the images. Okay, so bear with me. But that being said, I just wanted to take note of that and talk about that here. So they were honoring Papa, and that was really, really beautiful. Let's keep going. Okay, so now we're getting into the nitty gritty of it all. Okay, so Nicole shows up later than the others. I won't call her late, I'll just say later. And she starts, this scene moves into one of her confessionals. She starts talking about herself because it got started by her, so she starts talking about her relationship with her husband. I forget his name. I think his name is Larry, but if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself after. She's talking to one of her family members and they're asking about him, and she's saying that he can't come to a lot of things because he has to work a lot. That's when it moves into her confessional, and she talks about how, he works 12-hour shifts at night consistently, and this has been going on for a long time in her relationship, her marriage, with I think his name is Larry, and that in the beginning of their marriage, he worked a job where he would be gone for 2 weeks and then he would come home for 2 weeks. And then she talks about how that took a toll on their marriage. So it appears to me, it has not been said explicitly, but it appears to me that Larry may have stepped out on her in their marriage at some point. Okay. Now, at this particular part that I'm on right now, they're showing a year ago where she's having a conversation with Larry. And she's saying, because of things you have done in the relationship, I'm holding on to some resentment. I'm paraphrasing at this point. Okay. That's what I gathered from what she was saying to Larry. Larry goes to say, well, he feels like let me be correct. Let me be correct in what I want to be careful because I want to put words in people's mouths. He says something to the effect of, I'm too old to try again or to start over again. So in other words, Larry feels like he's going to stay with his wife because it's not worth it to start over with someone else. It's not worth it to get divorced and, date and get to know another woman and hopefully move into a space where you're either long-term partners or into another marriage. For Larry, he doesn't feel like that's worth it. I don't know why. I'm going to continue to watch the scene to see if I get anything else from there. Now, that being said, Nicole says she doesn't feel like it's too late for her. She feels like she's a great catch. She looks good. She's doing well. And if she has to start all over again, she doesn't mind. That's a paraphrase, okay? Let's keep that in mind. That's a very powerful dynamic that we're seeing here. And I wanted to hone in on that because they have two different mindsets, these two people that are in a marriage. One wants to stay because of comfort. That's what I'm gathering. Larry wants to stay because of comfort, because of familiarity. And Nicole, on the other hand, feels, to me, she has a limit. Maybe she hasn't read it yet, but to me, what she's saying is, I have a breaking point, and if I reach that point, I don't mind ending this marriage and going my way, because I am sure that I can find someone else who might treat me right. That's just what I'm getting from that. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to guide you guys through this next part and this next dynamic, because I have a feeling it's a big one and it's going to be a big theme moving through the season. Okay, so Nicole is breaking down that Lakeisha, Nicole, and Monet have the same dad. Okay, but Lakeisha, also referred to, I believe, as Keisha for short here, has a different mom. And so that has created a dynamic for these sisters. Okay, let me repeat that. Lakeisha, Monet, and Nicole all have the same father, but Nicole and Monet share a mom, and Lakeisha has a different mom. Okay, let me see if they say anything else here that we need to take note of to carry through the episode and the season, because I already know this is going to be a major factor in this show. It's probably going to create drama. It's probably has, obviously there's the fact that it's even being brought up means that there's probably slight underlying tension, all kinds of things. Family dynamics, they can be tricky, right? And for us to keep up, we need to pay close attention. So let me see if they got anything else that I can pull from what Jermisha's breaking down as far as these women and their relationship as sisters. Okay, and we should take note that Lakeisha and was raised in a different household, a separate household than Nicole and Monet. Okay, so that's good to know, because that shows you that obviously I don't want to speak about the father, but one set of siblings are over here with their mom, and the other set of siblings are she's over there. The other sibling, the other sister, is over on the other side with her mom. So that's just a mental picture we can take right there. And let's see what else we can get from this family dinner that's turning out to break down some very intricate family dynamics. All right. So in their confessionals, both Lakeisha and Nicole talk about the difficulties in their relationship as sisters. Lakeisha says that she was never properly sat down by her father. That's an assumption, but she says I was never properly sat down. So I would think that would be her father's responsibility, since this is her father's side of the family. It's not her mother's responsibility to sit her down. I mean, she could try, but it would be her father's responsibility. So she was never properly sat down and introduced to her, like, these are your sisters, these are your aunties, all of that stuff. That's sad. That is sad. Dad, wherever you are, that's trifling. I can't believe you never sat your daughter down and showed her who her family was. But you know what? Not too much on him, because we just want to break down the episode, right? Now, Nicole talks about how there is an uncomfortableness. There is a disconnect between her and Lakeisha. And in her opinion, she feels Lakeisha doesn't know how to approach her, and that makes things uncomfortable. From what I'm seeing, Nicole, I would say that you both don't know how to approach each other. It's simply awkward and uncomfortable. It's awkward and uncomfortable to see you guys navigating the room together in this episode. It's uncomfortable to see you guys pass each other in the spaces that you're in this dinner, at this gathering at Jermia's house. And it's unfortunate. And I hope that they can move past that they can find a way to connect, because you can definitely tell that there's discomfort. And if you have ever grown up with siblings that you knew that you had, but you never developed a relationship with, you definitely understand this episode, or rather this scene. And let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see what else is going to happen at this family gathering. Okay, so they're having a chat, and it's Nicole, Jaquita's husband, and Jermisha. And they're going back and forth about this photo they need to take for the company because it's been 4 years since they've taken one. Cool. They talk about, or rather, Jaquita's husband brings up Nicole's authority, that she's flexing her authority because she threw him out of the brokerage, the office. And they're going back and forth, but the back and forth is not really the thing that I want to focus on here. Something was said here by, I can't think of who it is, but if it'll come to my mind, I'll say it. But it was said here that Jaquita's husband was essentially, in my opinion, okay, what I understood them to pretty much be saying was that he was flirting with some of the workers that work in the space. Sounds like one of them was someone who works in the marketing team. And they were saying, I know Jermia, I know she said that the conversation started off with one of the marketing staff asking him, what did he think about her work? But then it sounds like, even Nicole said in this scene that he, gets too chatty with the girls. I think she even used the word flirting. Sir, what are you doing? And his wife is standing right there next to him. Now, they didn't show her face when Nicole was saying this. But what I did see of her face after the fact, she kept a very calm face. She didn't look fazed. She didn't look bothered. That makes me wonder, is because she's just used to that. But I'm confused. I'm like, how do you go to I don't know if Jaquita is one of the, I think she is, because I think all the women in this show work in the family business. Now, her husband is the content creator, so that means she must be one of the ones that is working inside of the brokerage, because all the husbands are married to the women inside of the business. So that means she is a part of it. I don't know which part she plays, but I know she's a part of it. So that means you're so disrespectful that you will play. I don't care what anybody says. That's your woman's workplace. And you're even if it's harmless, giggling and laughing in Heffa's faces, playing with them to the point where one of her cousins has to put you out of the place because you can't control yourself because this is a work environment and you don't know how to be professional. Oh, I'll be looking real close at that dynamic because I find that interesting and disturbing, to be honest with you. Does anybody know if you're listening to me now, do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? Or do I sound crazy? You got to let me know in the comments, because this is a man, they work together in the same place and you are flirting and laughing, and even outside of the flirt, because I know some people will probably go back and forth with me and say, well, flirting isn't cheating. Okay, fine. Flirting isn't cheating. Outside of that, put that to the side. It's simply unprofessional, is it not? It sounds like you are impeding business to me. It sounds like it's interfering with productivity. Am I wrong on that? And that's the reason why Nicole had to put your ass out. Okay, let's keep going. All right, I went back and rewatched it. And you know what? I changed my mind, but I'm going to keep that part in because I want to show you that sometimes we can read things wrong and we can reassess and we can readjust and we can change our mind. We are allowed to do that, okay? So I went and listened again. And what I think it is this, because now that I hear it again and I listen to it very carefully, I don't think that maybe he was flirting with the staff. It doesn't sound that way when I listen to it again. It sounds like he's a goofy, okay? And he's playful and he is childish, maybe. What would be the right word? And because he's not an agent, because he doesn't understand real estate work, because he doesn't understand that, he just handles the content side, and he doesn't really realize that these people are in here working. He's distracting the workers by Nicole describes it as he's playing with them. Well, there was another word that she used that I can't think of right now, but distracting them, and she said entertaining them. So that makes me think of somebody going in there singing or rapping or doing something silly or something, and everybody's looking around like ha ha ha. Okay, fine, I'm sorry, sir, I apologize, I went in on you, but I was wrong, and I am woman enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I misinterpret that part. And it just sounds like, but it still stands with what I said about being unprofessional. And I still stand by why Nicole put you out, because this is business, baby. And you should know better than anyone, because you're there for work. So don't mess with the workers. Leave them alone. I'm going to stand on that. Okay. But I was wrong about it possibly being that he was flirting with any of the women that were working there. But I'm going to still keep my eye on him though. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, so I have the family story now, okay? So this is the family story. Papa and Miss Oscarine were some of the most prominent, well-known realtors, Black realtors in the Houston area at the time. When they had the grandchildren, they paid for the grandchildren to get their real estate license. And Grandma, which is Miss Oscarine, planted those seeds of open a brokerage. When are you going to open a brokerage? She kept saying that. And Jermia is telling this story, okay? And that is what prompted these beautiful Black women to come together, use their family name to open the Braden real estate brokerage company organization, okay? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. Let's keep going. Okay, to finish up this scene, they're talking to Miss Oscarine, and it sounds like, well, it is. She has a piece of land that is undeveloped that the grandchildren would like to use to make it into something that can be profitable. It's the land that she's had for over 30 years that she hasn't done anything with. Miss Oscarine says that she wants the land to be sold and for that cash to go to be split amongst her children so her children can use it to pay their homes off. I totally understand Miss Oscarine. She went on to say that she has to think about her children first. I want to say I didn't catch her name, but this is Miss Oscarine's daughter. Miss Oscarine's daughter who stepped in that moment. I like the way that you stepped in for your mom, and I like the way that you took control to make sure that your mom wasn't going to be pushed too far in this scene, to make sure that Miss Oscarine, because of the things that she has been through medically, that she wasn't being taxed. That's how you do it. That's how you look after your family. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love that she not only did she put the crew in check, she put the grandchildren in check, okay? Letting them know that, it isn't gonna, the answer it can't be answered today, which to me, it sounded like Miss Oscarine answered it. If you ask me, she told you what she wanted. Why is it even a conversation anymore? She said, sell my land, split the proceeds, split the proceeds amongst my children so that they can use the money to pay off their houses, or, if it's cash, they're going to do whatever they want to do with it. She already made her decision. Stop trying to convince that lady what to do. She told you what she wanted. So grandkids, I think sometimes I am someone who, I just recently lost my grandma last year, and she was really a matriarch like this in my family as well. And I think sometimes as grandchildren when you're close knit like that, you can overstep. Because I know I certainly did in her passing and towards the end of her passing, you know what I mean? Because I was so close to her and, looked after her and everything. And I think that the same thing could be happening here in this scene, that the grandchildren are kind of overstepping. They don't realize that Mom has other people that she loves too. She has her kids. And of course, her kids are, it's not that she doesn't love her grandkids, but if she's going to be giving things away, she's going to give it to her children first. And if there's anything left over for the grandkids, then of course, that's usually just how it works. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So anyway, that's pretty much sums up that scene. Let's keep going. So in this next scene, Nicole is showing her beautiful client who is one of the top surgeons in Houston, and she is a Black woman, a very modern house. It's 5 bedroom, 5 bathrooms on a lake, or there's a lake around or something like that. So this scene is very straightforward, but I just want to say, what did you guys think of the house? It's beautiful. It's extremely modern, right? For me, I don't think I personally, God willing, if I'm ever able to own a house, child, because you know how it is right now. Oh my goodness. But I don't think I would want something a little bit more homey. If it was me, it just feels a little like, oh, it's not cold, because I've seen cold, you know what I mean? But it's just it's a little stale for me, but I think it's a beautiful house, and everybody has a different style, and the, likes a different style, and the surgeon seems to really love it. Everything that that Nicole is showing her, it gets more and more excited, and now she's ready to start talking numbers. So I don't know, maybe she's gonna end up buying the house, but it is a very beautiful house. It's very beautifully decorated. The person who if they renovated the house, the last owner, you did a great job. It's really, really, you can tell the intricate details that you really took the time. So that was really cool. All right. If there's anything more to this scene, I will be back. All right. So pretty much nothing else to really get from that scene. It's just Nicole doing business. And I will say, Nicole, you do it well. You seem like a great realtor, and you seem like you really know how to work with your clients and the people that you're selling homes to. All right. So let's see what else this episode has to offer. All right. So in this next scene, who is they, right? So it's Jermisha. It is Aunt Nikki, and I forgot who else. There's one other person in there. I'm still learning their names, but I'll catch up with you guys as I'm telling you about this scene. And they're over at the land that we talked about earlier, the land that Grandma owns. That's a vacant lot that doesn't have, it's undeveloped. And they've invited Aunt Nikki to the land because they want her to envision what they think the land can be and what they see that the land can turn into. Because keep in mind that Miss Oscarine and her husband, the Generation 1 Bradens, they have purchased land and developed different businesses and things like that throughout this area of North Houston. So they have like commercial property. They showed some commercial property that was theirs. They showed I think they may even have some residential property, like some apartment buildings. They've done lots of different things. I saw a town center. There was a town center in their name, and there was a nail shop, and it said Oscarine something. No, it said Oscarine Screens, something like a shortened version of her name. And I didn't really see what it was. I don't know if that was a restaurant or what it was, but they have, put their money into this area of Houston, which is so cool. I mean, I love seeing, I just want to say this. I love seeing generational wealth of a Black family. I don't come from that. I don't see it a lot. Maybe I'm just don't know the right people. I don't know. My family definitely doesn't have this type of, or anything really. But I hope to build it. I'm working on it, right? So I have never seen this up close. So to be able to see these Black people, this Black family have this amount of wealth, the way that they have it, it touches my heart. It is so powerful. OWN Network, thank you. Thank you for this. So far, this is beautiful. And so far, I am feeling fulfilled watching this. And we want to see more of this. Black excellence. This is Black excellence. And I want to see more. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Like I said, they brought Auntie, I forgot her name, the auntie, the one that's the representative for Oscarine, Miss Oscarine Child. Okay, they're going to look at the land and try to convince her to probably, I'm guessing, sell it to them, or something like that. So it sounds to me like they want to buy it and they want to develop it. So let's see what they are going to say, what's going to be said. Okay, so let me correct myself. They want to keep the land in the family. That's what it is. They don't want to sell it. They want to the grandchildren. They want to keep it in the family and develop it. Okay, they feel like they don't want to lose that property because they feel like it's a good investment and they should keep it. Now, the aunt is saying that the appraisal came in at $865,000, and Miss Oscarine paid $72,000 for the land. So let's see how much of a profit is that is. Okay, I'll be back. I got to get the calculator out. Hold on. So that's a $793,000 profit. You see, oh gosh, the way that land appraises, and this is just a vacant lot. Can you imagine if it was had a lot, if it had like houses on it, or a residential lot, or even if it was a commercial lot with like a business on it or garage or something, it'd probably be worth even more than that. That's beautiful. So I just want to make note of that. Y'all, they said the taxes on that land are $35,000 a year. That's how much Miss Oscarine is paying for the taxes. In some places in this country, that's somebody's salary, an entry-level salary. Okay? Or what somebody makes at like a entry-level job in a year per hour, if you break it down per hour. What they would, if you add it all up together, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay. So that is a lot of money. So that just tells me they got money, 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 money. I love it. That shows to me. I mean, listen, a lot of us couldn't afford that. So the land, it sounds like it's in good, because Miss Oscarine has been complaining, like, I can't keep paying these taxes. It's too expensive. So to me, what I understand that means is that she's been keeping up with her payments. Okay, she's not in there. They haven't spoken about, I forget what it's called when they have like something against the land, and maybe a lien, when you haven't been paying your tax. It doesn't sound like that's what they're saying. Like they're trying to pay anything to catch up or whatever. They just don't want her to give it up. But the problem is that it's expensive, but that just, I'm like, damn. Okay. Come through, generational wealth. Okay. Let's keep going. So that scene ended with pretty much the aunt saying that, she can see the potential in the land. She's on Jamisha's side, and that, if they're going to take $800,000, nearly $800,000 out of the generational one's hands, which I said the generational ones I thought it was the grandparents, but they're actually the children of Oscarine and Pawpaw. Okay, that's Gen 1. That's G1. If they're going to do that, then they need to make sure that the return on the investment is amazing. And I agree, Auntie. Okay, let's see what else this episode has to offer. So it's the family business photo shoot. Okay, so everybody's there. They got on black. They look beautiful. Lakeisha is talking about, as she's kind of helping around, it looks like she has like I don't know, I would say like an assistant role. I don't know if she works for the Braden business as well or what. I'm still trying to figure that out. But she's kind of running around helping with little things. Like I saw her slicking somebody's hair down to prepare for the helping one of the cousins, or I don't think that was her sister. I think it was one of the cousins, for their individual photo shoot. I think also some of the agents they hire that are not family are also here. So that could have been somebody that was just a worker in the place. So you have to keep in mind that in this scene, it's both family and the agents, because they're taking the business photos and individual photos. So they're just handling all the business stuff. And she talks about how, you know, she talks about the tension again, and how, you know, sometimes they would take photos and she would be left out because this is just our family. You know what I say to that? I find that so strange, because it's the father. I don't know if he's still living or not. They haven't said anything about the dad, but it's the dad that they share, and the dad who has the last name, it sounds like to me. So what do you mean? It's just that they share different mothers. So is it that Monet and Nicole's mom was married to the dad or something like that? There's something here that's missing that I can't figure it out, because why would two of the daughters be okay to be in the photo and the other ones don't? And she's talking about just family photos. She wasn't talking about necessarily this photo, because I don't know if she even belongs in this business photo based on what it is that she does. And I'm still trying to figure out what it is that she does, or what capacity she has in the family business. But they showed some older photos. And so I'm just like, that's odd that they would tell her, like, okay, no, don't. If they did, I think I heard her correctly. Tell me if I'm wrong now, okay? That they would be like, no, you stay over here. This is just for us. This is just a family. So that's, to me, makes me think that Monet and Nicole's mom was possibly married to the father and therefore accepted. They were accepted children, and maybe either maybe he got a divorce from their mom or something, and then had Monet, or maybe she was had during something. These are just things I'm thinking, okay? I'm not saying this is fact or anything like that. These are thoughts that are coming across my mind about the dynamics, okay? So we're going to pay attention to that moving forward, because that is very strange. Let's keep going. Y'all, have I been saying the wrong name this whole time? Have I been saying Braden? Braden family? Lord, I think I've been saying the wrong name. Y'all got to forgive me, okay? But to end that scene, Jermia gets emotional because she talks about how she remembers when they only had 5 agents. And it was just her and Nicole that started this business with the idea and the push and the life that their grandmother, Miss Oscarine, honey, spoke into them. And look at where they are now. Look at God. Won't he do it, baby? Oh, it just touches me, you guys. I love to see everybody win. I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody living in their best selves, living as their best selves, elevating in every which way possible, and just being favored. I just want to see people win, and these people are winning. They are winning. They are at over, I forgot what the number was, 100. I think they said they're at over 100 agents now, and they started off with just 5. Look at God. Won't he do it? Woo, hallelujah. Can we do a praise dance? That's beautiful. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so we are still on that scene where they're at the photo shoot, and Nicole walks up to Jaquita's husband, and she's telling him he needs to come into the office more because they need him there more for the creative direction. They want him to take initiative rather than just waiting for them to always give him direction and tell him what to do and when to do it. His argument is that he feels that he's not being considered as a creative on the level. To me, it sounds like he doesn't feel that he is heard as an employee of the business, that he is respected for his ideas. And it sounds like he wants to be considered more as an equal as these ladies, Jermisha and Nicole, and not like he works for them. That's what it sounds like it to me. You guys, make sure you share with me what you're picking up, okay? I did not like what Jermisha said in her confessional. She said, oh God, I don't know his name. It's good. Y'all, I cannot keep up with all these names. It's too many darn people. But Jaquita's husband, the photographer, the content creator, she said she feels like he doesn't come to the office because he's not respected. She don't care if he feels respected. She bet he feels that paycheck. She's not wrong about that, but I don't like that, Jaquita. He's telling you he is, at the end of the day, he gets paid. So he's an employee of some sort, right? I'm assuming he's not, if you guys want him to come to the office, he must not be an independent contractor, because I would think, well, I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong. Somebody that knows a little bit more about that, let me know. But I would think usually independent contractors kind of have more flexibility. They're able to do what they want to do. An employee, you kind of are getting told what to do, like how he is now. So I think he is an employee, and he probably receives a check, not just based on the work that he produces like a contractor would, you know what I mean? Or if you're in a contract, he could be a contractor. I guess what I'm thinking more, I guess, is more like a project or a freelancer or something like that. It doesn't sound like he's getting paid per job. It sounds like he is a salary worker. Let me put it that way, because I think I'm getting confusing myself, and I don't want to confuse y'all with where I'm going with this. So if he is indeed an employee and he receives a salary, or he gets paid per hour, okay, and he gets a W-2 and all that stuff, then this employee is telling you what he needs to feel like valued at the company. He needs to feel respected. He wants to be heard. He wants his ideas to be taken into consideration. If he wants to take you guys down a creative direction, he wants you guys to consider letting him go. You guys say you want his input more, but then you tell him that you don't care that if he feels respected or not. Do you think he's going to give his input if he doesn't feel respected? Nicole, you can't ask him to come in more, and that you want more, you want him to be there more to take initiative. And then Jermisha, your partner in the business, is turning around and saying that she don't give a damn whether he's respected or not. He needs to just do what y'all need to do. That's not how you handle your employees. I think y'all know better, because you have a big business. You have lots of agents. Don't you guys know better than that? Where's your HR person? They usually could tell you that. You have to understand how you're treating him. So yeah, he doesn't come into the office. Now, sir, I don't know where they can do that at. That's only in family business that I've ever heard, where you can just not come into work when you don't and still get paid. Because I know I sure can't do that at my job. They send me my last check and tell me to have a good one. Okay. So I don't like that either, because I got on them, so I got to get on you. You're taking advantage of your position, sir. You are taking advantage of the fact that you're in a family business, that you can move around how you want to move around and not do things, and do things like not show up to your job and still see money in your account every 2 weeks or whatever it may be. Okay. Every month, however y'all get paid. You can't do that, sir. That's wrong. You still have to show up and keep fighting for your respect at your job, despite your bosses being difficult. You have to do your part, because when you don't do your part, you're not helping your case either. So it's a mess. It's a mess, y'all. But let's see if this scene has anything else. Okay, let's keep going. All right. So to close that scene out, it sounds like they agreed that they would just sign a contract. Chris would sign a contract with it sounds like the company. It sounds like he's going to be an independent contractor, like I was talking about, and that they feel like that is what's going to be best for everyone, for the company, for Chris. His name is Chris. For Chris, and for the ladies running the organization or running the brokerage. Okay. So that's pretty much it. And they're getting ready. The next scene is at Jaquita's house, I believe. She wanted them to come over for dinner. She said that at the photo shoot. So let's see what's going to happen at Jaquita's house. Okay. So they're having a crab boil or crawfish boil. I can't really tell. Y'all tell me which one it is. I'm not, I am from California, so I know about that stuff. Like I have family that's, from like Louisiana and stuff like that, but I'm not sure what that is. I think I don't see any crabs. I think it's crawfish. But they're at Lakeita's house, and it's Lakita, Jermisha, and Lakeisha, and they are having a conversation over dinner, and Kita and Jermisha, they're telling Lakeisha, like, they want to talk about her and her relationship with Nicole. They want to see if they can help it, strengthen it, because they know that, not only did they lose their pawpaw, all of them lost the grandfather, right, including Lakeisha, but Lakeisha lost her mother somewhere around the same time. So she's having double grief, and she had a double whammy by losing two people that were important to her, and they want to support her. I don't know how this is going to go. Part of me feels like I appreciate that they want to help, right? And see what they can do. But another part of me is like, you have to let people discover that on their own. And if Lakeisha or Nicole wanted to work harder on their relationship, they would, if they weren't able to do it, like one or the other reach out to the other one, they would ask you for help. She didn't ask for help. You know what I mean? Lakeisha said in this moment, or at this scene, that she feels like she needs her family because they said they want to be there for her. She didn't necessarily say, oh yeah, I would love for you guys to help me with Nicole. She just was kind of quiet. It appears to me like Lakeisha's used to being the one that's on the outskirts. So in order to just be able to be present, it's better for her to keep her mouth shut and go with the flow. That's just what I feel. Because I almost feel like, I could be wrong, okay? But I almost feel like when you look at her and her body language, I mean, she's just so, oh my gosh, there's a solemnness to her. And she doesn't seem like she can really, don't get me wrong, she's vocal, but I feel like she's holding back. And I feel like if deep down her heart, she might not want them to do it right here and now in this moment. And I don't feel like she is equipped or has like the strength to say no, or because I feel like she feels like if she says, no, that's okay, I don't want you guys to do that right now. Let's just have dinner. Let's just leave it alone. Me and Nicole will have our time when it's time, but I'm not ready for that right now. I feel like she feels like she would be ostracized because we already talked about the photos, right? And how they would push her to the side or tell her, this is just for our family. You stay out of this photo. So if they'll do that for a photo, imagine what they'll do if she goes against them. I'm just saying, that's just what I'm picking up. Okay. Y'all let me know what you think. Let's see what this scene has to offer. Okay, so Nicole walks in and she wants some champagne. So she pours everybody some champagne. They are cheersing, and Jermisha's giving this dramatic, I don't know, toast, I guess you could say. And she says, to something, she says something about the Braden family, and they toast. But the part that I want to talk about is the toast itself. What I noticed was that Jaquita, Jermisha, and Nicole all clinked glasses. And Lakeisha's hand was just out there. Nobody even clinked her glass. Nicole is sitting the closest to Lakeisha. Lakeisha, I'm sorry. Because the other one's Laquita. Okay, I'm sorry. So nobody hits Lakeisha's glass, okay? So it's Laquita, Jermisha, and Nicole. They all clink, but Lakeisha's arm is just out there, and the other two said they want to help her. They didn't even get out, like, you know how you kind of act like you're going to get out of your seat so that you can reach over further? Nobody did that. Not Lakeita, not Jermisha, and Nicole didn't even bother. How embarrassing. On TV, guys? Really? That's what you're going to do? To her? I did not like that. Okay, you know what? Maybe it was small, but I don't think it was small. It wasn't small to me. This poor girl is already sitting at the table looking so stressed and overwhelmed. And then you guys do that bull. I didn't like it. And Nicole, I don't like how you're looking. I don't like your face. I don't know what the producers told you. I don't know what somebody told you what you were coming into. But why are you coming in like that? Stop. Well, this is your family. What is the problem? Oh, child, let's see what we can get from this, the rest of this scene. Because I'm trying to figure out, can't figure out what is the tension. The tension is too damn much. Seriously. And you know what? Before I go, Lakeisha and Jermisha, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You could have acted like you were going to get up and kind of clink her glass. You said you were going to be on her side. You didn't do shit in that moment. To make her feel included in that moment was to clink her glass. Don't you see her face? She's sitting across from you. You guys really, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Let's keep going. Poor Lakeisha. I don't think these women respect her. In this moment, they're talking about the business stuff, the land with grandma. I don't care. We already talked about that, right? I want to talk about the treatment of Lakeisha in this moment, okay? Stay with me. As these women are talking, I'm noticing Lakeisha isn't really engaging much, right? She's kind of looking down. She's eating her food for the beginning of that conversation. To me, that tells me that she knows when not to talk. If talking in certain points might be a problem for her, right? So she kind of holds her head down and she just enjoys her food. And then when she does try to speak up, when she says, yeah, I believe that all of us, it will be a good investment and we're at a point where all of us can manage it. Immediately, I noticed Jaquita kind of frowns her face up. What you mean by manage? And it's not about that. It wasn't a big deal because at the end of the conversation, she was like, we got people to do that for us. We pay for convenience. Okay, fine. That's fine. But it was the exchange, the physical exchange, the body language, right? As soon as Lakeisha spoke up, the little bit that she said, which I felt like she said, I agree. All she did say was, I agree. I feel like we're at a position now where we can handle something like that, right? And you kind of see the other women, the other, family members kind of like tense up, like, oh, is she talking? Like, why is she speaking? That's what I got in that moment. And then even Jaquita did it. And then she goes, well, what you mean? Well, we pay for convenience. And okay, sure, you pay for convenience. Yeah, okay, we move on in the conversation. But why you guys treat her like that? Why is the dynamic like that? Why is it that when y'all talk, it appears that she feels or she holds back? And then when she does get the courage to say a little something, you guys tense up and make a face and what's that? I don't think they respect her. Lakeisha, I don't think they respect you. I'm not sure. This is just what I'm seeing on screen. Do you feel respected would be my question if Lakeisha were to ever hear this little old video, this little old podcast, whatever you want to call it. Do you feel respected by the women in your family on your father's side, your cousins, your sisters, half sisters, whatever, do you? Because here, what I see is a woman whose opinion, whose presence is not respected. It's tolerated. Let's keep going. Jaquita is going to be one that's going to get on my goddamn nerves. Let me tell you that right now. Yeah, I'm cutting up. I'm getting annoyed. Okay. So in this moment, they're kind of laughing and giggling. Nicole's made some stupid thing about the face. They're talking about a face. It's stupid. Okay. Whatever. All right. Then I guess Jaquita's got a couple drinks in her, so she don't know how to hold her tongue and keep it cute and classy and have a bit of decorum. Okay. And she says, well, it ain't no wall over here. When she's talking about her and Jermisha, because they're laughing and giggling, she said, because y'all got a wall over there. Oh, let me be quiet. And then Jermisha start laughing. Y'all said you were on Lakeisha's side. This does not feel like it. This feels like you brought her here to embarrass her. You brought her here to make a mockery out of her. Even Nicole looks uncomfortable. Whose idea was that? Jaquita, why can't you hold yourself? Do you have any empathy? Are you able to put yourself in other people's shoes and understand how they may feel? Because if you did, I would think that you would know that doing what you did is not funny or cute. And I don't care that you did it for the camera. Some stuff doesn't have to be for the camera. They have extreme tension. It's uncomfortable for me to watch. They don't even really, Nicole and Lakeisha aren't really interacting at all in this scene. And they're sitting right next to each other. That is enough for somebody to pick up on the tension. We don't need you to add that little spice in there. I'm sure there could have been anything. You guys are businesswomen. You could have talked about anything. You got plenty to give for content. I don't think the dynamic, making a joke of the dynamic between Nicole and her sister Lakeisha, who are already extremely uncomfortable and already have to appear to have a serious disconnect. We don't need for that to be the butt of the joke, the entertainment. I surely don't. So I don't like it. I don't think it's lighthearted. I don't think it's something that should be brushed off. I feel in this scene, you guys are trying to embarrass her. That's not what you do. You don't behave like that when you're on somebody's side. Let's keep going. All right. So after the little jokey joke, Nicole checks him. She clocks it and she's like, hey, so what's up? What was that about? Right? This is when Jermisha gives her ridiculous speech about how she feels like when Nicole is around, Lakeisha is guarded. Jermisha is allowed to express her opinion. What I didn't like is that Lakeisha didn't speak up for herself. Lakeisha, that was your time to say, Jermisha, don't speak up for me. And you could have taken over that moment and looked at your sister and say, you know what? This is how I feel, but this is what I want. That's what you could have done. And I don't know. I feel like you don't have the tools, like maybe the communication tools to be able to do that, to know that you can do that and that it's okay. Or maybe you've been conditioned this family for so long to be quiet and just kind of be seen and not heard and sometimes not even seen, that you're just like, you know what? I don't even want to rock the boat. So you say as little as possible. But that was your opportunity, in my opinion, of where you could have steered the conversation, really taken control. It could have been a powerful moment for both of you, you and your sister, had you kind of said, you know what, I want to interject here because Jermisha, I don't need you to speak for me. And said, Nicole, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I think. This is what I want. And you guys could have had a really tender moment. Okay, but that's not what happened. So Lakeisha doesn't say anything at all. Now, Nicole goes on to, express her thoughts. And I stand with Nicole on this one. She said, you guys are saying all these things. You're saying this now, but you just made a joke of it. You just freaking thought it was funny to call us the sensitive sisters. And now you're calling us the sensitive sisters and you're saying that there's a wall and, pretty much try to say pretty much what I said earlier, right? Trying to embarrass me, trying to embarrass us. And then that's when Jermisha's like, I didn't do it. Well, Jermisha, you supported your crusty little sister. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm mad. I'm sorry. But in that act, not that Jaquita, I'm not calling you crusty, but your actions were crusty. Your attitude right here was crusty. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Jermisha, you supported your sister in that little bullshit that she did. And Jaquita, and you still laughed, Jaquita, when you said, and then as you admitted, I did it. Yeah, I was the one who made fun of it. What's wrong with you? Jaquita, I'm watching you. Aren't you the one whose husband is at your job making entertainment and stuff? And I'm still wondering if it could be what I thought it was. I said I was wrong, but I don't know. I'll be looking. I'll be paying closer attention as the episodes move forward. And you're deriving pleasure from this uncomfortable moment between two sisters who are navigating a sistership as an adult when one of the parents didn't fully do the things that a parent should do so that their children can have strong relationships with each other. And you're deriving pleasure from that moment. I'm looking at you real sideways right now. If I didn't watch another episode of this show, you would be my least favorite just for this moment. I don't like it. I don't respect it. Let's keep going. Nicole, you my type of girl. You a bad bitch. Nicole, I like what you did here. So you guys, Nicole in this scene, she calls them out. They try to apologize, Jaquita and Jermisha. And she did what I said I wish Lakeisha could have done. But Nicole has that communication strength. I think it's because she's a businesswoman and the level of business, the heights of business that she's reached. She's probably had to communicate with a lot of different people. She's probably had to do some work. I think that she just has the skills to be able to navigate this thing much better than Lakeisha. So she turns to Lakeisha and tells her, you never expressed to me any of the things that they're telling me that you feel. And maybe I haven't created that space. You know what I'm saying? So I liked that. Because that opened it up. And Lakeisha was really receptive once she did that. She nodded her head and so there's hope there. And we're going to see if there's anything that can come of that because of Lakeisha was able to take this moment back and kind of steer it back. And then she, after she says what she wants to say to Lakeisha, she says, so I'm getting ready to leave. I know that's right. Get up out of that toxicity. To me, that was not some small thing. That was not some small family event and it just went awry and she misunderstood. To me, that was a manipulation of two sisters. They manipulate the moment. They tried to manipulate the people. They were able to manipulate Lakeisha, but they were not able to pull that crap with Nicole because Nicole saw that shit as soon as it started happening. Because if those ladies were both on their side, they would have handled it differently. They would have approached it differently. And you know what? They're both intelligent. They both are licensed brokers. So that tells me, and you communicate with people. You guys sell houses all the time. That means you have to have strong communication skills. So to me, that tells me that you likely have the skills to be able to do what I'm talking about. You did not want to do that. You wanted to make it messy. You wanted entertainment in that moment. And Nicole says she's not giving it to you, family or not. And I don't think that this could have been something so beautiful for a reality show. And it could have been such a tender, had it been approached the right way. We could have still gotten entertainment from it, but it would have been a more rewarding type of moment had this been handled in a way that was coming from love. But I don't think that Jaquita nor Jermisha were coming from love. They wrapped it all up like that in the beginning, and I believed it too. But in the end, once the drinks start flowing, they showed their ass, they showed their real selves, and they showed their real intent. It was just for mess. Nicole, good for you, baby. I love how you can clock the bull, even amongst family. Good girl. Let's see if there's anything left, because I believe this is the last scene, all right? All right, and that's pretty much it for that scene. Nicole left. Jermisha chased after her, trying to apologize. Jermisha, it was too late. Y'all know what y'all were doing. You should be ashamed of yourselves, So that was pretty much it. That's all I have. I really enjoyed this episode. There were some really great moments. Most of it was really great. to see the wealth that this family has built, to see these beautiful Black women excelling in what they do. I really enjoyed that. Towards the end, once we start to see the family dynamics, you know what? I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy it, actually, because this is something that happens in families all the time, actually. People have families like this. Covert narcissists, freaking manipulative people, covert manipulation. I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen. And I'm not saying that those are the things that were present here, right? I talked about what I felt I was experiencing it as I was watching the episode. But I'm just saying that families are not perfect. So even though I felt that the moments could have been different, they still gave us the real. And I appreciate that. That's why we enjoy reality TV, because it's not always the nice stuff. They gave us the ugly and they gave us the beautiful in this episode. And I truly enjoyed that. All right, guys. So that is all I have for episode 1 of Family Empire Houston, season 1. And that's all I have for episode 1 of Family Empire Houston. What are your thoughts on the show? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the outro music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.